Shirts and skins, let's get it, yo. Shirts and skins and we back again. The best coverage in college sports, we come to win. With Brandon, Mark, and Matt, no one go hard as that. Share it with your folks and they'll learn where it all be at. It's just three of the guys, childhood friends that be setting the vibe with a few hot takes, jokes, and predictions. Love the Boise State, we now welcome you to listen. Shirts and skins, let's go.
Bronco Nation, what is up? Even if you're not in Bronco Nation, what's up? Thanks for joining us today on the Shirts and Skins podcast. I'm Matt Lamb. I've got Brandon Meinert here and Mark Moss. What's up, guys?
What's up? Hey. Been a little while, been a couple weeks.
The original three are back.
Yeah. And what's her name again?
Bex Gentry
Bex
is here in
here.
the studio.
Bex is still here.
You can see her in the top right of your screen.
Yep.
Did she just get done working out?
She's always done working out.
She's always in
She
that.
has boots on.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a runner. She's a good runner. Shout out to Bex on the Peloton.
Peloton app.
Yeah.
You follow
Peloton
her.
tread.
She's still
Literally.
going? Is she still on?
Yeah.
Is she still?
Yeah.
We need to get her on. She's made so many appearances on this show.
You know what was funny?
Indirectly that I wonder if she's...
Ren Lamb, he posted a...
My brother.
Yeah, Ren, Matt's brother,
Yeah.
older brother. He posted a video or a picture listening to the pod while running.
To Bex.
So,
too.
Bex.
so he had, it was like in the living room on the treadmill. The
I didn't see
TV
that.
had the Shirts and Skin, and then on the Peloton was Bex.
Double Bex, man. Love
She
it.
did, and she didn't even know.
She had no
She
idea.
needs
She
to
had
know.
no idea.
She needs
I
to know.
literally did.
She needs to
I
know
like,
and she needs to be invited.
I would do those classes, and you check in live, and they give you a shout out.
Really?
And
Brandon,
they're
hey,
like,
what's up?
No,
You don't-
that was,
And you're like,
that was
shirts
color
and
of
skins,
boom.
let's get it.
No.
And you don't do those anymore. You just do at-home workouts, right?
Yeah, I got rid of the tread.
I guess it was still at home. You just do a different
Yeah.
workout. So do you miss her, Bex?
Yeah, terribly. Yeah,
She
that was
misses
awesome.
you.
Well, she'd be like, "All right, everybody, like crank it up. Come catch me. I'll get you.
Yeah.
like I'll get you.
coming
I'll
in
get you."
Well, guys, it's been a little bit since our last episode. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Mike Prater joined us. Really great episode.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
I'd
big
say.
thanks to Prater for coming on. A lot of good stuff, a lot of cool stories. So that's the previous episode on YouTube. Check that out. Also, if you're on YouTube.
Check us out on what was the podcast we did?
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can check us out.
the tailgate.
What was it called?
Something
The
tailgate.
tailgate.
We
Link
you
in
know.
the description.
speaking of municipal celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in. Yeah, we got asked
Oh,
by.
that was
Where
pretty
were
good.
they? They were
They're
cool
in
dudes.
Tennessee.
In Tennessee, and they were doing an SEC podcast or something. They invited
Yeah.
us to come on their podcast a couple weeks ago. What was it called? The Tailgate.
Yeah,
The
tailgate. I
tailgate.
forget the
Yeah.
full name of it, but yeah,
Yeah, it was fun.
it was a good time. So
check
if
us
you're
out.
check us out. If you're on YouTube, subscribe,
Please.
like the video. We had an uptick in subscribers since our last video, and love that, and love everybody joining us and following along. So that's awesome. Let's get to today's current topics in Boise State football. What do we got, boys?
Well, something Mark's been talking about for a long time, actually. That's Jeramiah Dickey leaving before the North End Zone project.
Potentially leaving. We're
Yeah,
not sure.
we're not-
No, we're not breaking news.
What
here,
are the odds
obviously.
he leaves? Legitimate odds. Come on. What are the odds he leaves?
I would say.
Are they higher?
I would say higher that he leaves than he doesn't. I really think so.
Is it more likely that he leaves or that he joins us on the podcast?
Leaves.
Ooh. I don't know what
He
the
has been
compensation
invited, just so
package is.
everybody knows. He has been invited. We would love to have Jeremiah on.
We don't. We
busy
don't
guy.
offer him as much as Houston would offer him.
Probably not. Probably not. So if you haven't been paying attention, right,
You know-
came out this week, right, that Houston is looking for their AD. And the reason that this was is interesting is you kind of have to know the backstory, right? So Brandon's, was it your brother that was like, why would he want to go for... He doesn't
Houston?
listen to this. Your
Oh,
brother
the
doesn't
Baylor?
listen to any of these,
No, my
right?
family doesn't
He was
listen to any of them.
ragging on me for like saying, as soon as I saw it, I was like, uh-oh, see you, Jeremiah,
Yeah.
in a group text. And he's
Oh,
like,
was it Jeff?
what is you just, yeah, Jeff. Why would you want to jump at Houston? And I'm like, dude, you got to know the history of Jeremiah Dickey, right?
Wasn't he
He's
at
a
Baylor
Texas
though
guy.
too?
He was at Baylor.
Yeah.
He was I don't know where it was before Texas, but I went Texas, to Baylor, and he was like the number 2 at Baylor. Texas, he was not Texas, Houston.
That's
Houston
right. Okay.
to Baylor to
Yeah.
Boise State.
Yeah.
And but he was at Houston. He was in charge of some fundraising there, but he was there for like 5 or 7 years. He was there for more than a cup of tea, right? He's a Midwestern Texas type of guy, right? Somewhat. He's spent a lot of his career there.
I saw posts that the number was roughly 650 or above.
That's what they paid their last one. I listened to KTIK this week. They had the Houston Chronicles beat writer on, and he said that they will be paying upwards of $8 to $1 million plus.
So double what he's currently.
He's
getting.
making 4 something here. So it's the same story as any coach. They can go to a Power 4 and make double or more. But it's most intriguing because not only is it a Power 4 school, but it's one that he has experience there. And I think the most interesting thing a couple interesting things for me is that Jeramiah Dickey's been here for 3+ years now. He maintains a relationship in Big 12 country. I think I told you guys this.
Right.
I will see every once in a while, like on YouTube or Twitter, he'll show up. He does podcasts with Big 12 podcasters. Okay. Yeah. And they know him. Hey, Jeramiah, what's up? And he's pimping Boise State and everything. He's not, but he's maintained a toe in that part of the country, which is smart for him. I'm not criticizing him, but it's the fact. It's the truth.
His main mentor is the AD
at Baylor. Correct. Yeah. So again, I'm not bashing. This is the reality that we live in, right?
Why would you stay if you're Jeramiah? Why would you stay?
The main reasons, if I was Jeramiah, why would I stay? First of all, there has to be some, and we'll talk about this in a second, there has to be some pressure mounting to get his contract re-upped and a big raise here. But there's no way we're not going to pay whatever Houston's going to offer him. The reason he would stay is if his wife loves it here. If his wife has really good friends here.
She's not from Texas.
I don't know where she's from. I have no idea. They've got young kids. If his wife loves it here and the kids are in a great school and they've got great friends and that whole situation, then maybe he stays. In my opinion, that's the only legitimate reason.
That used to be a big thing about Idaho. I don't know if it's the same as it used to be.
What? Having friends? Having good schools?
Like the quality of life here used to be really a big hook for coaches, for a lot of people, and a number of coaches come back.
You think the wow factor is a little less than it used to be?
The population, I could be completely wrong.
We're not the diamond in the rough.
That's
certainly
true.
As much as we used to be.
Yeah, because the traffic, the population increased, the cost of living's gone up.
Way up.
450,000 is a lot of money. Certainly doesn't take you as far as it used to. Like 450,000 in the past was pretty close to $1 million in Houston.
Yeah.
So as far as like comparisons and packages, that's tough. But if he likes maybe going up to McCall, or if he likes skiing, or if he likes
the Eagle Rodeo, which he went to.
The rodeo. I mean, I'm sure Houston probably has a few. But no offense to Houston, but I've heard a lot of people that is a tough city.
So loyal listener, my brother Brian, friend of the show,
original friend of the show.
Hey. He lives in Houston.
Okay. Where did he go? Friend of the show, because he hasn't made an appearance in weeks,
I think,
months.
You know what? Maybe my bad. He kept communication with me. The communication stopped at me and didn't make it to the podcast. I think he
tell him he's been downgraded to associate of the show.
No, I think it's on me. I think he got offended that
is
subscriber.
Just
he's just a subscriber.
Just a subscriber.
No, he's probably not even subscribed.
Let me tell you this, man, and I don't want to speak for him, but just talking to him, he's got a lot more home down in Houston for a lot less money and nice.
That's true
big
in Texas.
Home. It's way cheaper to live down there. Way cheaper
in Houston. So a suburb of Houston.
So it's not like living here is a cost of living benefit.
You're 100% right.
You're getting a bigger house, a nicer house for less. Now you got to deal with hurricanes and the heat and whatever. But bigger city. But there's super nice suburbs in Houston. Let's not
Isn't it the fifth biggest city in the world?
Yeah,
in the country?
It's big. But anyways, we don't know. The reality is, though, that the Houston Chronicle guy, he did have he had an article, and a paywall prevented me from actually reading the article.
Couldn't afford it.
I couldn't afford it.
We could not in the Shirts and Skins budget.
We do need to talk about sponsors at some point.
Yeah, please reach out.
The picture for the article, the front picture of the article online was Jeramiah Dickey. And on KTIK here locally, he was on the show. He said that if Jeramiah Dickey is not their first choice, he's no past their second choice. So the reality is that he gets talked to, whether that's already happened or will happen, we don't know. It's just going to be up to him. So, but we don't know.
Let's say I'm Jeremiah Dickey. First thing I do is come on the Shirts and Skins podcast.
Of course.
First stop.
That's a given. What's next?
I respond to the direct Twitter message that I sent. That's the first thing you do, obviously. Second thing I do is I don't know how often AD jobs come available. Honest question, I don't know how often those come available. I know, like Coyle, he bounced around to a couple really good ones. He kept going up.
Syracuse, Minnesota.
So I think it's probably an average tenure of 3 to 5 years in AD.
I mean, a good one can stick around longer.
Sure, if they want to.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking that, all right, well, the openings aren't every year like a coach. A coach openings every year, even probably every 6 months.
Yeah, there's multiple Power 4 offers every year that come up for coaches.
If he probably has a list of schools that he'd say, I'm taking this job.
Yeah.
Is Houston on that list? Very well could be, right? But, the hard part about it is it's almost like when we were talking about Ashton Genty leaving. For me, it was a foregone conclusion. If you're going to get $1 million somewhere else,
You go.
you just got to go. And so if I'm Jeremiah Dickey and you think Houston has the donor base to give unlimited money for NIL, okay, huge problem you're dealing with at Boise State. You're in the Power 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever Houston ends up in the Power 4, I don't know.
They're in there.
But they're in.
Yep.
So they have access. Obviously, more money. You have more better facilities to work with, better infrastructure, better support staff. It's just quality of life, I guess.
Do you want to
comes
believe? Is
down-
that what you're doing? Giving them all
It
the
comes
reasons?
down to
just trying
quality
to
of life. That's
think.
it. And
Or if he's holding off for
A
Ohio
bigger
State or Notre
Yeah.
Dame or whatever.
Yeah, because you could
Only
say
other thing.
all of these great things at Houston, right? Would he say, look, I started something here at Boise State. We're trying to build this.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He
Like,
could.
hey, the North End Zone project, the East Side project or whatever, which has kind of died off, right? Could he say, look, I started these things, I want to finish them? Maybe,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
He's
I
gonna
just-
make
he needs
his
a lot of
money.
momentum.
I've seen people it's that same thing with like the ones at Bronco. I mean, it's just like I see people online like, oh, Jeremiah loves it. Like people have to remember like these guys, and I'm not trying to, and it's not Jeremiah Dickey. It's just the coaches, the player. This is their job. He's not from here. Like I'm sure he loves it here. I'm sure he's doing a great job. But like just because he tweets out like we're built different and Boise this, that, and the other doesn't mean like that's his job to like shake people's hands and make them feel good and donate money and like so this whole not like concept that like he wouldn't leave because all these great things he says about it. I just think it's the same thing as coaches. They're where their 2 feet are and they're going all in and I appreciate that. But
How many?
I'm not relying on. I'm honestly, if he stays, it's because it's not. It's just truly because his family situation wants to be here, and maybe he's holding out for a different job. But that's it. It's not because he loves it or he's from here. He's not any of those things. It's just I don't know.
How many Jeremiah Dickeys are out there?
There's probably a lot.
is he replaceable? Is that what you're saying?
God, he's got to be, right?
You mean here at Boise State? I don't. That's a good
That's
question.
no offense to JD, by the way.
No, JD's awesome.
Irreplaceable.
I think we're all three of us are on board saying
Yes.
that we hope he does not leave.
Yes.
So it's just let's have the conversation. But I actually like his second in command, Gogler, Cody Gogler, I think is his name. He's super young. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm super. I know who he is.
He's
based
super
on
young.
Twitter.
He's super young guy, but he looks like a clone. He looks similar. He talks similar to Jeremiah Dickey.
Question.
And I wonder if they would just move him up because he's got his hands on all the
I have
projects
bad
and going on.
feelings about that.
Why?
I didn't like how it happened with
Apsey.
No, but Apps.
What?
No, that's a way different story.
Yeah,
Apsey
what are you
was a
talking about? It's
Boise.
the same story.
No, it's not. Apsey was a 30-something plus year lifer at Boise State. Okay, who was nearing retirement, was not aspirational whatsoever, had done some good things raising money when he was the number 2, and just wanted like a cush country club job his last 5 years of his career. It's totally different than a 30-year-old that has aspirations, up and comer. It's totally different. It's totally different.
Question, and I think this is important to consider. When Jeremiah Dickey got here, you look at his hair, shorter. He's got the part going.
Can we post a picture?
Now-
Can we splice in a picture of him?
If I remember to do that, we'll edit this.
What are we doing?
Now he's got the
Receding
slicked
hairline.
back.
He does look good.
He's like George McFly, Back to the Future.
Has he lost some hair?
I don't think he's lost some hair, but
So
it's different. Well, and I just wonder what your preference is. That's why I asked the question.
I don't know that I've ever considered
Short
a preference.
hair or slicked back
Can
hair?
I see a picture?
Okay, so you got like short hair right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You seen that? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Mark's.
I
And now you've got this.
Yeah.
This slick back.
I like
look.
the new guy.
Okay.
I like the new slick.
Whoa, okay.
JD.
Slick
I
back
actually
JD.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good look.
Mark,
I don't care.
we didn't ask you.
You didn't
Brandon's
ask me.
the only
Okay.
vote.
I'm probably
I
a little
like it.
shorter, tighter.
Yeah, I like it.
Probably, but anyways, okay.
He's a younger man back then. He's
You
trying
look-
to get a job. He's trying to get different.
Jeremiah, if you're listening to the pod, we like the hair.
Okay, there we go.
2 out of 3 anyway.
I don't know. I'm super worried. I think like you got to be a big hitter as an AD. This is the biggest organization in the state of Idaho, Boise State, in my opinion.
Is it being treated that way though? Is
It's the biggest government organization.
Yeah, but is Marlene Trump and we can talk about the tweet if we want to.
That's true.
Yes.
Is Marlene Trump treating it as such? Now, she certainly could be.
To her credit,
We don't know. We don't know what's going on in the background. We don't.
to her credit, once when she was hiring for JD and for Andy Avalos, she was posting pictures of baking cookies and rainbows and sunsets.
Yeah.
And all of
gotten
us
off
thought
Twitter.
she's gone. All of us are like, this is a disaster. But then she came through with JD and Andy Avalos.
Came through with Avalos?
Well, I mean, she hired him.
Yeah, but
Okay,
did she
but
come through? Like, are we?
But
that was
how long
not
has she
great.
been on the
She
job?
was new. She was pretty new too. I'm not going to
You
blame
can't
anyone.
blame her for that.
On Avalos. That was we're not going to
'Cause I think
we're
we
not gonna
all
put that on her.
supported that.
We did. We all did.
Yeah, so
We
don't.
did.
So anyway, my point being, we were all worried, and then you have no idea what happened. But who knows?
Yeah, so I don't know either. I don't know. You just said it's the biggest organization, government, and I agree with it. I think that the Boise State Athletic Department, football in particular, is extremely important to our city and our state. And I don't feel. I mean, I don't have the numbers because I wasn't really prepared to talk about this. But like the amount of fiscal support that Boise State Athletics gets from the state is 12 out of 12 in the Mountain West.
Right.
So we don't treat it as a state the way that it should be treated.
Well, the school board of education does it.
Yes. So I guess we did
State
talk
Board
about
of
that with Prater a little bit, but that irritates me. And I'm sure JD and Trump and all them are trying whatever they can, but the problem is I don't know what the problem is, but they're not getting the support that they need.
Do you remember when Trump first started? And I remember Caves was posting about this before he left. She would go to the state and be on a panel or like be in front of a board, and they would be grilling her like, how woke is your school?
Yeah.
How much gender ideology do you preach? What are you focused on? It was a big deal. Like that's for the first year. That's
Yeah, and they cut
Yeah.
because of the DEI programs Boise
Yeah.
State had and stuff.
Oh, they did have to. Yeah.
I mean
they probably do.
They do, yeah, and so like the
I guess I don't mind that.
the state government, yeah, you don't mind that they cut those things.
I don't
Yeah.
mind they cut the.
So if we want to go into that, we can. We got our American flag here. No. So I don't know. But I just, back to your original question, is Jeremiah Dickey replaceable? I don't know. See, here's the thing. I think we all agree that Jeremiah, at least hourly, he's raised a ton of money. The interesting thing is, like, I have no idea. I wish there was like a before and after. Like, Apsey certainly wasn't out there posting everything that they were doing. I would be interested to see like what was the donations of Apsey's last 2 years? Was it $5 million total and Jeremiah was 25, or was it like 12 and 16? Like, I have zero idea. It sounds like Jeremiah is doing a lot, and I think he is, but is it double?
So-
is it 4 times? Did anyone have an idea? I don't think anyone has any idea.
You know who we need? Who's Dayton Robinson? We need our stats guy. Is that
Is
his
it
name?
CPA?
We need him.
But there's
Robeson.
that data is not.
I know.
I
Is it
feel like I
Robeson?
would have come across it.
Well, okay, so
data's
you're probably
not out
right,
there.
but you could see the amount of $1 million donations, and obviously the board, the video board, all the different things going on. None of that was happening under
It
Apsey,
seems like
and
he's
we
done a
were
lot.
winning.
I'm just wondering, is it double? Is it 10 times? I don't know. It's certainly way more than Apsey was doing.
So my biggest concern is this. I feel like you need a big hitter. I feel like you need somebody that can be confident walking into the largest, and we're not the biggest state in the world, but the largest employers, the biggest donors, and you can carry yourself with them,
Sure.
right?
That's
And
what you
you can be comfortable asking them for money, and you need to have a vision, and you need to have drive. And it was so fascinating to me, and it showed me so much that when Jeramiah said at his opening press conference, and we've repeated this, if we don't have it, we'll go get it.
Yep.
And he's done that. 100%.
Yeah.
He's done that. For the players, for the coaches, for the stadiums, facilities, he's done that. The Lyle Smith Club, which I think is great.
Yep.
Lights for Leon Rice in the
Lights.
The bulbs.
Number
light
one.
bulbs.
So I feel like you need to have the confidence to walk in and talk to these guys. I worry about younger kids being able to do that. Now, maybe this is number two's been in those meetings. He has those relationships.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I really want somebody that can do that, and then that has a vision to say, this is where I want to take this program when I leave or when I'm done.
Yeah, but it's like if we're not willing to pay Jeramiah Dickey whatever he wants, which I don't know if we are or aren't. We don't know that yet. Then who are we going to get? I mean, we hit a home run. Trump hit a home run with Jeramiah Dickey. Or you just he was a young up-and-comer. Do you just go and try and do that again?
Yeah,
I mean
there's another one.
Is it
and is that better than Gogler?
Is
I don't know.
Gogler the guy that was doing scheduling before
I don't
Dickey
know.
took it back over?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Gogler's kind
Somebody
of
else
his number
is doing
two.
it, though.
Gogler's out. You see him in interviews and stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's
Question for you, gents. How do you feel if tomorrow, mid-morning or whatever, you get news? Not that it would come this soon. Obviously, I think it would be
they
like
said they're going to wait a
July.
few weeks or something.
How do you feel if he does leave? What's the sentiment?
Oh.
Is it
Disappointed.
devastation? Disappointment?
Devastation, no. And this is not Coach Pete leaving, but it's disappointment. It's and I've said it multiple times, and I know I've been ridiculed. I'm still
the north end zone.
I'm still worried that gets done. We have all seen. What did I say? I said renderings without results or something like that. We've seen. I don't need to. We've seen at least 4, 5, 6 different renderings of the stadium
Which
over
are
the
not
last
cheap,
10
by
years.
the way.
Yeah, just to do the renderings,
Yeah.
a couple $1,000,000. And none of them have happened. None of them happened. And I feel confident if Jeramiah Dickey's here that it happens. And if gun to my head, I had to guess, let's say he leaves tomorrow, does the north end zone still happen? If I had to bet, I'd say yes. But
To
there
your
has
point-
to be like the new guy comes in, just like when Jeramiah came in or when Trump came in, they're like, wait, we're going to start a baseball program right now. We're going to put a baseball field on. Like, why would we do that? That's not going to generate revenue, blah, blah, blah. And they cut it. And as soon as new leadership comes in, they look at it and they say, we can't afford this, right? Like, granted, I know there's plans for the north end zone to generate income, whatever. I still think it happens, but I am worried that loses momentum. I mean, someone had said, oh, it's funded. It's not funded. It is not funded. And it's gone, the price of the north end zone has gone up twofold since they announced it. It's already a year behind schedule, okay? It's already a year behind the original schedule, and the price went up from 30-something to 65.
Ooh.
So is it happening? I think it's going to happen, but if he leaves, I think it change.
It could.
It could change.
It could.
And he has a lot of
the
momentum
bottom
going
line
on.
is
He has a
it-
lot of momentum.
The bottom line is if he leaves, if you have somebody that can come in and parlay the success of the football team into success in donations, you could do that. Like, it makes their job a lot easier if the football team wins. So if he left, you look at the coaches and you say, is Leon going to leave? Leon will leave when he wants to leave, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think
in my
Leon-
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Danielson, who's a first-year coach.
He's not leaving
Anything
anytime
could
soon.
happen,
Yeah.
And so you look at those two coaches and say, all right, how would he manage? How would the new guy manage those? Well, he's got that already. You're probably not going to let go of Spencer in the first year, most likely. You'll probably wait. So you got time, not like Jeramiah when he came in, he had to hire a new coach
right.
and do a few things. So, meet new donors, meet new companies, start going, create your vision, pitch it to the community and start going. Really, that's all that you do if he left.
Yeah.
Then we got a new guy.
I mean, you don't just, we're screwed and lay
Yeah.
down. I mean, you got to get back up, but it would be disappointing. It would be. And
I think the hard part was when Coyle came in, Coyle had to keep Chris Peterson. That was priority number one. That was
Yeah.
the biggest thing that was on his plate every single day. And I think he said that in the opening press conference week. He's like, my number one goal is to keep Coach Pete. And Pete's right there.
Coach Pete was making double what Danielson makes
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, well,
10 years ago.
and rightly so.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? Like, of all the inflation of everything going on in the world and college athletics,
Yeah.
our coach now is making half of what Pete left his last year.
What did Harsin make at his top?
More than
Did he make 2?
No, I think he was 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah.
He was getting up there, but not quite to 2.
Is that also a sign of like that the program budget hasn't grown too?
It has though. It has.
Has it?
I mean, we still
Like the
rank
operating
what in
budget?
the Mountain West
Well,
as far
I
as a
think-
football program goes?
Oh, I think we rank pretty high football program. Colorado State and San Diego State spend more than us. I think we're, but so I was just talking about state support. But we sell a lot of tickets. We get a little bit more for TV. But I don't know if our operating budget has really gone up a whole lot. I mean,
We're paying our assistant coaches a
yes,
lot more.
that's true. We are
But
paying
we're
both.
paying our head coaches a lot.
Both the assistants are making over 400 now, which is needed. But I don't know if it's perceivable, like the operating, like the
Yeah.
I don't know about
Could
that.
probably look that up.
Yeah, that seems like something we could look up.
Mark could probably.
I could look it up.
You could.
I- yeah,
He will.
We could look it up.
You should.
We need a stats guy bad.
Get Dave.
Are we gonna get to these, Mark? Are we ready for this?
If you
We
want
still-
to. So,
can we
anyway,
just-
let's just see what happens with Jeremiah. Hopefully by the time, I'd love for him to come out and say, like, I'm staying a lot, Boise. We got things to finish here. But
Yes.
if you're smart, if you're him, even if you want to stay, you leverage this into that getting that deal done.
You know, and that
here.
could be
So-
that could be one of the better things that happens to him because he could go up to 650 or so with a
yeah.
legitimate offer.
Yeah.
That
If they
changes.
offer him $1 million, he needs to come back and say, I need 700 to stay. That's what I would do.
And we talked about this with Prater, like, hey, why hasn't the contract been renewed yet? It's been, there's how much time left on it? 18 months
It's
or
still
so?
a lot of time, but
Still a lot of
apparently
time.
that's uncommon.
It's uncommon. Where was I going with that? I was going to say, if you haven't listened to it, obviously listen to that episode.
Yeah.
But how does Jeramiah Dickey take that? He's making $400,000 a year right now, right? How does he turn that into 650, 700? Is it just, hey, these are my plans, this is what I'm going to do? Or does Trump just say, we're going to throw this at you because we love you?
Does he have an agent?
He should have an agent.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
ADs
guess
have
if you have an
agents.
agent, then they just go out to the market and say, this is the market rate.
Yeah, and
for a group
I
of
mean,
five or
I'm
whatever.
sure. So part of his, everything he's doing is in a binder somewhere. You know what I mean? And for his, like on his resume, this is so he knows that information we don't know. How much money they were raising, how much they are now. All he has to do is open that up and show Trump.
Yeah.
I'm making you $25 million more a year or whatever it is. Look what I'm building. Look at the plans. I need a double salary, or I'm gonna go where they want. You know what I mean? Like, it seems pretty obvious that he should, and he deserves that. I mean, I think he deserves it. Again, we don't have the raw data, but it certainly seems like he deserves it. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, deserve and being able to pay it are just two things.
But yeah, I agree with that. But it's like, how many millions? Can't you take?
Can he get NIL money?
He should.
You know what's stupid?
Dude, they do that. I mean,
They
coaches
should,
make
right?
money off like their radio shows, and coaches make money off of certain like the community. So
Can
you
we
would-
get a Dickey dozen instead of a Degenhardt?
Why
We may need a little bit more. The dumb thing I always think about these negotiations is like when we were taking Chris Peterson's salary, we'd have to go get it approved through the state board.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's guys that are
So
just
stupid.
don't
So
know.
stupid.
They don't
either
want
anything,
that.
or
They're
they
like,
don't want it because they're
you shouldn't be
Idaho
paid
grads.
that.
Well,
or
they're
whatever.
Idaho grads,
Yeah.
or
And
they
they're
don't
like,
care about
screw
football.
you.
They don't
Yeah.
understand
They're
it.
like, you were an assistant at a plumbing company, and you got voted into this.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on.
And that's the other problem. You get back to that. There's people making $60K a year or whatever, and they're like, these coaches are making this much money,
Yeah.
and they, the teachers aren't making enough, and it's just like this whole different mindset that
That's
big
why
schools do not have that mindset.
No, for
They
sure.
don't.
No, I do wish. That's why I do wish the whole independent.
Yeah.
Getting it away.
Just
you
get
got a
away from the
president,
dings.
And you just say you don't have to
Yeah.
give any of that stuff. That cleans it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see.
Are we doing a giveaway?
We'll see. We are doing a giveaway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. We've got some merch. If you didn't know,
right there.
sitting
Right.
over
Right behind in the
Oh,
little
in
cubby.
In the trunk?
In the trunk.
in the trunk.
Hold out there. White and
You
black.
can't really see it on
Mark's
camera.
not gonna be able to do it.
But
You can see it. He's just getting out the blacks.
Got the blacks.
there you go. There's a black shirt.
There's some whites too.
There's
You
a
know,
white. There's a
we
white
have-
version of it.
We have
as well.
pictures of that shirt being repped at the Mountain West Championship basketball.
Who's wearing it? You?
Wait, what?
Friend of the show, cousin friend of the show.
Oh,
yeah,
not that
okay.
one.
No,
this is a different
different
version, but he made his own.
He made his
Yeah,
own.
he made his
That was sweet.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Anyways, we got some merch. We got some
Jameson. Shout out to
t-shirts.
Jameson on that.
Yes.
We got some t-shirts.
And Randy.
We're gonna pick a person at random, but in order to get entered into the drawing, you need to. So when we announce this episode, we're gonna post it on Twitter, repost it, and whoever gets the most likes on their repost is gonna get a shirt.
It's a shirt.
It's a t-shirt.
Sent to them.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
send it
this
to you.
week's. We're gonna do some different things over time, right?
Yeah.
Different, but that's this week's. So yes,
Potentially,
You're gonna love that
t-shirt.
shirt.
potentially a golf outing with us. Is that?
that's coming up. Hey, we got some plans. Come on now.
You know what I would love? If you love golf, I want to do a mountain golf. I love mountain golf.
Jug Mountain,
Oh,
I'd do Jug Mountain.
Jug Mountain,
Jug.
Tamarack, Terrace Lakes is fun.
Terrace Lakes is
Fun.
Terrace
You ever
Lakes
played
is
Terrace
a
Lakes?
blast. I love
it's-
it. In fact, I
brutal.
really want to do that this year, and maybe we can get subscribers to do this together.
Yeah.
We could do a mountain tour. Start at New Meadows.
up past
Listen
McCall.
in.
Go to
listen in.
McCall,
Start at Meadows.
Jug.
Go to
What
McCall.
course is up at
You
New
could
Meadows?
do Osprey, New Meadows Golf Course,
Are we
which is a
gonna
lot
hit
of fun.
the Cascade 9-holer?
We could hit that. Well, Osprey Meadows is 9 holes too. That's the Tamarack
Okay.
one. But you could do New
No,
Meadows.
Tamarack's is 18 now.
Is it?
Starting July. Yeah.
Okay, well then you got the Muni at McCall,
Yeah. 27
Jug,
holes. Yeah.
Terrace, and you're out.
Yeah.
That'd be a
That's good.
blast.
And we'll get Matt Bowsher to get us into Whitetail.
You
Right?
go to- yeah, and then you do Whitetail. Have you played Whitetail?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't love it.
I played it once years ago, but
Yeah.
I remember there's no one on it. That was awesome.
Terrace Lakes is fun. Though.
Anyways, okay.
That's a good one.
So yeah, please.
Yeah. Repost it.
Okay.
Our post, and
Okay.
then get your buddies to like it.
Spread that.
Spread the word. Also, subscribe if you haven't on YouTube.
YouTube. Yep.
We love it.
We got comments,
All
right?
Yeah. So we don't have a guest today. So we thought we'd take some time to turn the attention to our listeners. Mark, you did a great job printing this out, by the way.
You actually, Brandon printed it. I did
I
cut and
printed
paste.
it out. That's true.
I did cut and paste, put it on the.
Where do you want to go, Mark?
There's a lot of different.
You know who posts a lot?
Who's that?
John Regan.
John Regan.
John Reagan.
John Reagan.
Reagan?
Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan.
He has. So thank you, John. And you know what? Why don't we start with that first one there? Kind
Yeah.
of like that one.
Read it, Mark.
I agree.
Oh, no.
I 100% agree with Mark. That's nice.
Was John the Mark fan Twitter
Do you
account?
guys know John? I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know, John.
Yeah.
No. So basically, I don't know if we want to read. So these are comments from subscribers on YouTube, and there's a couple different topics that we thought we might want to discuss today. John Reagan did comment on a few of them, but his first one that we got here was talking about. He said, "I 100% agree with Mark about scheduling Idaho."
It's obvious why Mark picked this.
Yep. So I would like to go back to that. I would
he
love to schedule Idaho, and I know that is such a.
Wouldn't that be better than
I don't-
Georgia, wherever, Southern?
That's my thing, and that's my thing. If we want to just play Power 5 and whatever, that's fine. But as long as the scheduling philosophy is we're going to schedule an FCS team every year. I'm not saying we play Idaho every year like John says here. We should play them every few years, though. We're playing Portland State this year.
Wouldn't we rather play Idaho State
Plain.
than Portland State?
Totally. And keep the money in the state,
Yeah.
too. Like, I'll be a good steward of the state.
Yeah.
Keep the money in the state, right? I loved when we were all growing up here. Of course, Idaho was kicking the crap out of us for like a decade
13,
plus.
13 years in a row.
When we were kids.
Yep.
And then we flipped, and beat them, 13, 14 in a row. I know that there was the classic quote from Custra, the drunken and
Nasty and inebriated.
nasty and inebriated comment.
Dude,
I don't.
it
What's
got
the downside?
spicy.
Seriously, it's been years.
It's been dead long enough that I think.
What's the problem? What is the problem?
I can tell you what was the
legitimate
problem. Custra
Yeah.
was the problem.
'Kay.
He hated University of Idaho.
Okay, that's fine.
He wanted to put them into oblivion, which he did.
Which I appreciated.
he did, by the way. I mean, let's just Johnny Mallory could come on and talk about it, but like irrelevance to the point where they got downgraded. Anyway, can I just say I don't care.
You don't care either way.
I don't care. Like if they are on it, great. I do think it would be fun, a game day atmosphere. But for me, for so long, it was a bigger risk than there was any
Too
reward
much to
of that.
lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I felt the same way a little bit about BYU. But with Idaho, if we lost,
It would suck. Yeah,
For
it would suck.
20 years.
but-
We could go 101, and that one game, they'd be like, we won that.
Yeah,
we won the whole
I don't
series.
care. I don't know.
I'd be like, I don't know about that.
I would like it. I would like it. I just think it would be cool. It would be good. I have friends that are U of I grads and went there, and I just think it would be fun. I don't see the harm anymore. It's been long enough. I think that they used to have like Boise State Hate Week, like legit, like it was sponsored, school sponsored. Like they hate that's.
Did
I think
BSU
that's
ever have
done.
that?
No, BSU. I don't think there's ever been as much vitriol going that way. Certainly not now, but.
Because we kept losing, and then it wasn't even close.
And then it
just was a big
It really
shift.
swung, but I don't know. I would love to see him on. So me and John are on the same page here. I would like to hear some comments from people, like legitimately, like other than how it would suck if we lost. I get it. We have nothing to gain. I get that. Other than that, I don't know.
I think it was a
I just like
thing.
to see it every few years. Throw them on the schedule, beat them down. I mean, there's no way we lose to
Who's
Idaho.
their coach still? Is it
It's Eck. John Eck seems like a good guy, good
I don't
coach.
remember who that is.
I mean,
I don't care if we have him.
not John Eck. Sorry,
Not
not
John.
John Eck.
His
I
last
knew a
name is
guy
Eck.
named John Eck. He was a doctor in town. John Eck.
His last name is Eck, though.
His last name is Eck.
Why?
Coach Eck.
Yeah.
Coach Eck. Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
We should get him on the pod. He'd probably
If
come.
anything, the thing is, if anything, it's just for the fans. It's all for the fans on that.
Yes. Why
There's
not?
because there's no
Portland State's not for the fans. Who's excited about Portland State? Who's
I think
excited about Eastern
Daniel-
Washington?
Daniel-
Jason
Danielson?
Eck. It's Jason
Who?
Eck.
Danielson?
Danielson. Coach Danielson.
Yeah, probably.
Jason Eck.
Jason Eck.
It is
I don't
interesting.
know.
To your point, it is interesting that's taken so long to get it back on the schedule because when Custer was in power,
Yeah.
it was not happening.
It wasn't happening.
And I think it was because Pete backed it. Because Pete's like,
probably-
there's no reason.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
I agree, and that's I understand that. I just growing up here, being an Idahoan, I think it's good for this. I mean, I think it's good for the state. I think it's good for we don't have a rival. We've talked about this. We don't have a rival,
They're
and
not
not that
gonna
they
get
would be
it.
a rival. Not that they would be a rival. Sorry, they wouldn't be a rival, but
not
it
go
would
down
be
that
a
path.
game. It would be a game
You're
that
giving too
people would
much
be like,
credit.
"Oh, it's Idaho." There's some, the neighbor. Like we don't have the BYU game anymore, and that was
It would sell tickets.
It would and most
would-
everything are selling tickets now, so that's not
True.
really a
You're right.
concern.
You're right.
But
The tailgating would be better.
What made the BYU game great was that we all went to either church
Nard
or
shots?
school or not school. What?
Nut
Nard
punches.
shots. That's what made it suck.
Nard shots.
Nard shots suck. Yeah, the Mendenhall era BYU Cougars, man, they were the dirtiest crew ever, and I would
Isn't that
challenge
what-
anybody, man.
But who came on and said that?
Grant Hendrick.
Grant
He hated
Hendrick
BYU.
said that. Yeah, he
He
was
did
the
not like
worst.
it.
But what made the BYU games
hilarious.
great was that everyone in this community knows people that love BYU.
Yeah.
And so, was it a stressful game when you lost to BYU? Did it suck?
It was the worst.
It did. It was the worst. But
worst.
that's what makes sports fun, in my opinion. It makes the wins sweeter. It makes the losses more bitter. We don't have that anymore.
You're right.
Not to say that Idaho would take that place because Idaho sucks. But it would just be something where people on your street that went to Idaho.
Yeah, you're right. I agree
So
with that.
I'm all for getting it back on the schedule.
But I also
really
see
am.
if you start that matchup again, I think you also give them a little too much credit that not like credit, but it's like you could give momentum, and it's like we're not even in the same.
Momentum. They're not. It's Moscow, Idaho.
Well, I know, but
they can't. They were tried FBS for more than 2 decades.
True.
They were horrible. They cannot
They're in a
recruit
tough
above
spot.
the FCS
Yeah,
level of
they're in a
Moscow,
tough
Idaho.
spot
There's just
for
a lot
sure.
of reasons for that, but
They're in a tough spot.
I'm not worried about that. Anyways, next. Sorry.
Can I give the next one?
Yeah,
Going off of the discussion we just had, to Basque.
Tabasco. That's that's how you read it.
That's a
Tabasco.
good
Too
idea.
bad-
They're
Oh,
gas.
He
Tabasco.
calls us old ladies.
No. He didn't. Somebody else called us old
I
ladies.
couldn't find.
that's what
I
that
couldn't find the
was.
original comment.
The original comment was that we were like 3 old ladies talking over each other.
Oh yeah, which we
Which
probably
we do.
yeah.
Well,
And
can we talk about this for a second? Talking over each other? Because I think one of us is the guy that talks over each other.
Hey,
Can I just say?
Go ahead. I'll let you
do.
talk.
Yeah. Will you?
Raise your hand
That's-
if you've been muted on the podcast before.
Dude, come on. So let's be honest here. I've multiple times after the first several episodes have I not texted you and be like, I'm really sorry, guys.
You do.
Yeah.
But you don't change.
I don't
You're like
change.
a freaking
I don't
alcoholic,
change.
dude.
I
It's
don't
like,
change.
I'll
I
never
don't-
do it again.
I'm so sorry.
So true.
You'll never have another black
Even
guy
our
again.
guests,
I just
even our
loved it.
guests, they're talking, and Mark's like, "No, I don't." And the guests like
That's
look
bull.
down.
That's such bull.
Check the
Stop.
tape, dude.
No
Check the
tape. No
tape.
tape.
Check the receipts.
No. All
Who
right,
did we
fine.
have on? Bolt? Was it Bolt?
Oh, anyway. So, but he said, to his credit, old ladies don't talk trash to each other and then make them do an ice bath, which we need to get back.
Yeah.
Are we going to do that for the upcoming season?
Yeah.
Hot takes?
Hot
We need
punishments
to
for
get back.
hot takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which are cold.
Because I got
One
the ice.
other thing that we've gone away from is being team shirts or team skins.
We're getting older, man.
You took your shirt off.
We're getting
did.
older. I've
And
taken
Mark
my
did-
shirt
you're
off.
the only one that
I
hasn't
haven't
taken their
taken.
shirt
I'm
off.
team shirts.
You're probably the one in the best shape of all of us, too.
I don't know about that.
Nah, okay.
I think Brad,
Well, what did he say? I liked his comment there. Something
What?
about us old ladies.
Oh, it's old friends do that.
Oh, yeah. It was a nice comment. Appreciate the
Yeah.
comment from Tabasco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, hey, John Reagan again. You guys are on fire. I love what you are building here. A talking circle for non-media BSU fanatics, talking with local media and noteworthy BSU personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
do
we
like?
appreciate some of that stuff.
I think what's unique about this pod is that it's just a conversation. It's not like a question answer thing. And one thing I love about our podcast is we can
Talking over each other.
mute
Each other.
certain people. I love being able to say exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think some media can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. No,
because
no
of the
doubt.
access with BSU. They can't jeopardize the access to the coaches, to the administration, to the school in general. And we can. We could just say, like,
And
we
maybe
hate
that's why
this.
some people don't want to be on our podcast.
Most
Probably.
likely.
Probably.
And our quest for a press pass is still ongoing.
Pending.
We'll see
We'll
how
see.
that goes.
My thing, I'm hesitant
A little ground
to
support.
do a press pass.
Just because then we're beholden to them, maybe?
because then you have something to lose.
Like if you get it, you can lose it? Or what?
Well,
Yeah,
if
but
they,
we have-
next year, if they're like, no, we don't like you because you say all these bad things, and
Eh.
then say, well, that's how
Eh.
I feel. I'm not going to change.
We're
how
not
I-
changing now. No. If they let us in, awesome. I would love to be there. That would be super cool. But we're not doing that. We're not changing that. No. We're not real media. We're not like this isn't our job. So if we start
That's true.
acting like we think we know what we're talking about, we're in trouble. Okay. Our success is just because this what you know.
Will the inner Jordan K come out? If you
Oh, dude,
Jordan K
Jordan
is coming
K's
on the
gonna
show.
come on the show.
Confirmed.
You heard it
Jordan,
first.
Jordan K is coming on
That
the
is,
show.
I'm super pumped
The
about
week
that.
of Washington State.
if you
I
guys
talked to-
want
yes.
cool stories, Jordan K is coming on the
Jordan
show.
K was
Yes.
the best, man. He's probably been my favorite. No offense to BJ. Love BJ Raines. Love Mike
No,
Prater,
yeah.
Johnny Mallory, all the J Tust, which
They're
we
all
need to get
great.
on.
They're all
those guys.
great, by the
Jordan
way.
K was my favorite, dude.
Yeah.
He was like slinging them.
When's it going to be? Who talks
Isn't
to
that
him?
the
The
third
week
or
of
fourth
Washington
week?
State.
Or no,
he'll
that's
be
like-
here for the Washington State game.
Is that like the middle of the
sometime,
season?
Yeah, it's like week 4
Why
or
is he
5.
coming for that?
I don't know. He's not from. I don't think he went to. I think he's buddy with Jay Test. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but he's going to be here for that game. So he is coming on the show. I don't know when we'll work our schedule around him
Yep.
so that we get him on. But he'll be on here.
That'll be awesome.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
that was a good one.
So
Anyway,
yes. There were some realignment ones.
wait.
Go ahead. How are we at?
Danny
We're good.
Donato said JB's prime rib is amazing. Don't hate.
Danny.
It's
Come
not
on.
even
We got
it. And he
JB's
was-
anymore.
And I thought he was a little, because I
is that-
responded and I was like, suspect at best. He's like, no, it's the best. And I was like, whoa, dude,
Like he
is
was
he serious?
like-
That's what worries me a little bit.
oh boy.
yeah.
I don't think that, what is it called? KB's? I think it's KB's.
Yeah,
it?
JB's that closed 2 Boise restaurants as part of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That was
Uh-oh.
that was a while ago.
It was,
Prime
the,
rib
it was the
was
prime rib that
nuts.
took him under, if we're going to be honest.
Oh.
I don't know, Danny. I just don't believe that he's ever had a prime rib there that he's enjoyed. Maybe he has.
Yeah, maybe yes.
What?
We don't know.
KTIK was giving those out.
Well,
And I partook.
someone had to get him out. Had to get out there somehow.
It's KJ's now.
KJ's. I got that one wrong. Anyway.
Try it out.
Caleb Blaser, 1055.
Don't know if it's any reference to former tight end Sherm Blaser.
You never know, man. He had a big family. He kind of started off we're not going to read all of them, but he kicked off a nice little
Realignment?
a comment that several people got in on. Double one Neil, Caleb, John Reagan, again, several people got in on that. And basically his question was, guys, I wish you would have asked Prater if and this was his question, if BSU beats Oregon, makes the playoff and win at least the first round, are they getting into the Power Four? And that kind of sparked a big, we're not going to read all the comments, back and forth about realignment and all the craziness that's happened and that potentially could ensue. And I don't know if we want to comment.
The
much
Power
on that.
5 tailgate commented. I don't know if that's the tailgate that we did.
I don't think so.
Bring BSU to the party. I hate that the contracts keep teams like Northwestern, Purdue, and Vanderbilt in the conference, but teams like BSU have to constantly prove their worth. I'll sign a petition to bring you to the Big Ten.
I think that is the tailgate.
Is that them?
It is the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I know about that
I
podcast,
appreciate that.
we weren't going to get into the Pac-12 with the guys on that podcast. But the Big Ten, the
Yeah.
thing is, we belong.
In the Power Four.
In the Power
Not the
Four.
Big Ten or the SEC.
We belong in the Power Four. We do. And I think everybody knows that. I'm sorry. I really honestly believe if you were to talk to...
Would you rather watch us or Vandy? Right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's not biased.
What has Vandy done lately?
Legitimately...
Ever.
Ever.
Went to a
Yeah,
bowl
you're right.
game like
Seriously.
10 years ago.
Jay Cutler. I think that's the odd thing about the whole thing is the access to the Power Four is so locked in and tied down and very difficult to do. There's just teams that you think... but it's the same with every conference. There's bottom dwellers in every conference. You're like, get them out and get a better team in.
Yeah.
From the top end of another conference that's not as good as the Mountain West, bring them into the Mountain West. That's what I don't get about the whole conference alignment. I mean, the Mountain West right now, why couldn't we just break out and just form one conference with the best of the best teams? I've never understood that.
Well, I think that specific question is because the money is not there to break up the Mountain West. You have to have 9 out of the 12 teams decide to dissolve the conference. So the contracts are the problem there. Otherwise, yeah, it would make sense. Take Oregon State, Washington State, take the top of the Mountain West, take the top of the AAC, right, and maybe Sun Belt, whatever, and make a best of the rest conference.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to do. But the fact that we're not in the Power Four, it's just disappointing. I don't know, man. It's just disappointing. It's like I don't get it. Like the ratings, the TV ratings are such that like when Boise State plays. Yeah, Boise State's game against New Mexico on FS1 isn't rated as highly as Big Ten games. We'll go figure. They're playing New Mexico on FS1 at 8:30 at night. If Boise State was playing Ohio State, they'd have a better number, right? Yeah. We're significantly higher rated than any other Mountain West team, like by double or more as far as TV viewers. When we play decent teams, we're not a drag on the rating by any stretch. It's just this old thinking like, oh, it's Idaho, it's a small, it's secluded, whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's not a top 50 market, but it's growing and growing fast. The product is good.
I just
It's
wonder.
just frustrating. It's like I'm sure Dickey just is super frustrated like with that.
How much will TV contracts even play into these things anymore? Because TV is the landscape of TV is changing.
No, it's
Amazon?
still but that's
Netflix?
still a TV contract. That's still
I get that. But the traditional TV contracts, ESPN, Fox, that are just battling over it every year.
Yeah.
CBS.
Yeah.
There's new entrants into that game that could attack it from a different way, like Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but
like
they still
me
whoever
why
it
I'm
is,
dumb.
Amazon Prime or whatever, they still have a contract with that conference, and they still.
Yeah, but they negotiate differently. They do.
Okay,
And I'm just saying they don't have the same biases that everybody else has.
I think we can agree though, and
because they're looking for legit subscribers and not just like how many people are subscribed in Boise. Does that even matter?
That's what we're looking for too. Legit subscribers. We know where they're coming from. You can get a shirt.
But it's back to Caleb Blaser, 1055. His question. The only chance at this point, and I know
we go undefeated.
I don't have to go undefeated. We have
that's
to.
What he said.
Okay, sorry, but we have to win on the field. We have to win.
No invites coming if we lose.
There's just zero chance. The only chance is we get into the playoff, we win a game. Next year we get in the playoff again, or the next 2 out of 3 years, or 2 out of 4, or 3 out of 5. We're in the playoff. We're making noise. We're winning games.
Get me hot.
That's the only chance. And,
Team skins.
And even then, even then, I don't know if it's enough. But that's our only shot. That is our only shot.
If we don't get in, and that's the case, we'll never get in.
We'll never get in. Ever.
Well,
and we won't, right? I mean, we'll never do that again.
I feel like we have talked about this several months ago, but it was like at some point there is this divide happening, and we just cannot be on the wrong side of that when it truly, truly officially breaks. Right now, we still have access. This is our time. We have access to the playoff. The rest of the group of 5 is super watered down. You know, UCF's gone. BYU, whatever. They're not there. Cincinnati's gone. Houston's gone. It's like us, App
how about
State,
this?
Southern Florida, Memphis.
Tulane.
Tulane, the decent programs, but
about
like
this?
we need to rise to the top. Go ahead.
Catch me outside.
How about that? How about this? We keep Jeramiah. We say don't go to Houston. Go to a bigger Big Ten school. We keep paying him money. He is our
Gets us
access
in.
point.
He's a mole.
He's a mole.
The mole.
There you go. He's an inside actor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Well,
Yeah.
may as well do it.
Yeah.
I bet Kurt
Anyways.
Apsey would do that for us.
I don't
Kurt
know.
Apsey,
I
he's-
think. Stop it.
He's hanging out with Marlene at the Shakespeare Festival.
Do we need to talk about your
Yes.
your
Yes. Mark
Mark
stirring up
and the
controversy.
Morales brothers?
Okay.
Aren't
Should I
on
read
good
the
terms.
Read the tweet.
All right. Mike Prater from KTIK says, "What is Jeremiah Dickey thinking tonight? What is Marlene Trump thinking tonight?" Mark Moss, you can find him on Twitter at mmoss_10. Marlene is probably sipping wine at the Shakespeare Festival, completely oblivious to the situation. She only cares about football when the cameras turn on and she can dance around with the cheerleaders.
That's gold. First of all, people
Are
need to
these
not
your-
take things so seriously. I'm just like joking around. Like
These aren't your sincere
No, it's a
sentiments.
partial truth. Like Prater's been writing about it. BJ's been talking about it for 2 months. Where's Marlene Trump? Where's the contract? I'm just taking it to a little.
And you got a response, Mark, from
I sure did.
from your good buddy Jordan Morales. Been a while since you dropped a really awful take,
Thank you.
and I'll thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, you gave him a break.
But oof, this one is real bad. Completely oblivious. Her provost volunteers to help her. Let's see. Her provost volunteers to help with security at athletic events. These folks bleed blue for every
What does that
corner
mean?
of our university.
I don't even know. He lost me with provost.
Oh, bleed
and
for every corner of our
volunteering
university,
and
not bleed
whatever.
blue. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know that we had to bring blood
What's
into
provost?
it, Jordan.
Point taken.
What's the
Jordan-
provost?
I have no idea. It's someone that works for the university or works for the.
Oh.
Volunteers
works
to help
for-
with security at
Yeah, it's like
athletic
someone
events.
in her administration. or something like that.
If you criticize somebody with
How
Boise
dare
State,
you.
are you a bad fan?
Jordan Morales definitely would tell you you are.
Okay.
And I don't know Jordan. He seems like a good guy. He's super, super positive online, and he gets interviewed a lot with some of the fan things. I think he knows some of the media guys. Seems like great. I have nothing against Jordan whatsoever. He has not liked some of my more colorful tweets in the past, and I think he takes it way too seriously, first of all. But secondly, to your question, I don't agree with. I don't agree that to be a fan, you have to have rose-colored glasses and everything has to be positive, Tommy Alquist style, following Avalos down into a ditch. Okay?
Ooh.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And Jordan was the same way. Okay? I mean, these people, Jordan and some people, it's just like, the minute you criticize anything or even ask a question, and it's not like I'm overly critical of anyone. It's just like, well, maybe sometimes. But you ask a question, or people on Twitter. Now, there's some trolls that are super bad, but I mean, some people legitimately have questions. Oh, why didn't you remember a few years ago when trying to block a field goal and we like had 2 extra points blocked? And it was like asking a question.
Championship game?
Championship lost
Fresno
the
State?
championship game to Fresno State because someone couldn't figure out how to block a field goal, and there were some questions about that. The minute you ask that question, you're not a true fan. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that if I asked, if there were people out there like, wait, we've never been ranked under Avalos. Wait, the players don't seem to be having fun. We're losing to UTEP. What's going on? Oh, you're not a fan. You're not a real fan. You don't bleed blue. That's bull. That is bull.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Okay?
I agree. And I've always struggled with the thing where the program says you need to be more invested. Like, show up early, stay all game, give money, bring your family, go to
Yeah.
the events. Be more invested. But then when you're like, hey, I really wanted to win, why didn't we win this part of it? There's like, hey, chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. You're not supposed to do that.
Quit
You're
being
like,
an
well,
energy
wait.
vampire, dude.
Yeah,
Come
like,
on.
wait a minute. Like, you want me to be like a non-player or what is it?
An NPC.
An NPC. Just at the game, NPC, show up. Don't like emotionally invest in anything. Just give my money, like buy the merch, do all that stuff, but then don't go any further than that. I've struggled with that.
Me too. And again, I don't think as fans our job is to be overly critical and throw people under the bus and say people like. And I try and ride that line of having honestly like some humor a little bit, but like I think most of them, like online, I think most of my things are like bringing up actual problems or questions or topics that people think about. I do get reactions sometimes. And I think the reason that is that they are thought provoking sometimes, like, but I'm not for like being a total jerk and calling for, I don't call for people's jobs. I don't bash on players. I don't think we should bash on like 18, 19-year-old kids, like by name and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm all for people that are blue and orange and bleed blue and everything. And that's fine. Do your thing. But to criticize anybody that like, questions things or whatever, I think is a little.
Yeah, I think there's a scale of fanhood.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
10
fine.
is like I'll never criticize anything ever, and then 0 is I don't care about anything. And everybody's on the scale, right? You're at different places of the scale at different times probably. And so, but yeah, that was an interesting one.
That was funny. I read that. I laughed. I didn't know what to respond though. It kind of got me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I still want. Maybe he can let us know what a provost means.
And honestly, someone like him I'd love to have him on the show. Someone like that has a different perspective. So I have no idea if he listens to this. I have no idea if he even knows we have this. I thought he blocked me a long time ago, but apparently I just didn't have bad enough.
Maybe he
takes
hit
for
you,
him to,
snoozed you.
Maybe. Maybe that's
can we
why
talk about this one?
Yeah.
Malachi.
Malachi.
I thought the interesting conversation we had with Prater was he doesn't expect Malachi to start.
Yeah. I think
Even really be the main starter for the couple of months.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
Should we be disappointed by that? What do you think?
Your initial take was if he doesn't start game 1, something went wrong.
Did I say game 1? Did I say that? I may have. I certainly may
possible.
have. I think they brought him in, especially with Bush, because Bush brought him in, right? The plan was for him to be the starter, for sure. And if he's not the starter, I think we've said this. If he's not the starter, it's because Dirk Cutter believes that Maddox Madsen puts us in a better position to win, and I'm fine with that.
You trust Dirk Cutter?
I trust Dirk Cutter no matter what he does, so I'll put that out there. I think that there was legitimate questions for about Malachi Nelson if he can't beat out a 5'9",
8.
5'8", probably.
Is that how tall he is?
I don't know.
Every time we talk about his height, I always
granted,
say it's less.
Prater's probably right. Does he start at some time this season? Maybe is he the guy next year? He is young. But the thing for me, though, is that he wasn't just a 4-star top. He was a 5-star recruit who was the number 1 rated of all positions. ESPN rated him number 1. You can't tell me that guy 2 years after high school can't come to Boise State and start? Obviously, something happened there that they weren't planning on, that ESPN or these prognosticators weren't planning on. Okay? That's obvious. A 5-star recruit starts as a true freshman anywhere they go in the country, let alone Boise State. Yeah.
I'll give you one.
They should. Okay. A lot of times they do.
I'll give you one right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Texas?
Okay, yeah.
A bunch.
Okay.
I mean,
5 stars, though, usually are starting fairly early. We'll just see. I mean, I want to give the kid time to grow. He might be great. I don't know. I'm not being critical of him. I'm just saying that, like, when he showed up and they had this welcoming party and they signed him, it was like, this is the savior, this is the guy. And then he shows up and we've heard the stories from the guys, like
Welcoming party.
he's throwing.
It was not. There weren't Lamborghinis lined up for it.
No.
that's true.
But so I think that the thought was he's going to come in and start, and then reality hit, and he, for whatever reason, didn't look great early in spring, and then by the end of spring he looked great. So we'll see. I don't really care.
Prater changed my mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He changed my mind.
Okay.
I shared your opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Go ahead. My opinion now is just I trust Dirk. I just do think that a 5-star, ultimately you would have thought should be the starter, but whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, my opinion was that I expected him to start, especially because I didn't know the extent to Madison's knee. If he was going to play summer, if he was going to play all summer, and it looks like he will.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big time to, you got to get a lot of reps in the summer. And that dynamic should be really interesting for them right now. Who's getting all the reps doing summer ball? Like, who's leading that?
Who's hanging out? Who's throwing to the receivers?
We know that. We already know who's hanging out.
We don't know who's throwing the receivers. Yeah.
Who's at the golf tournament?
Right.
Who's at the
Who's living on
softball.
campus in Boise and who's living out of town? Like it's
So, but talking with Prater and that conversation that we had was interesting because he was, I think Madison's good enough to win us as many games as we need to this year. And I know that, obviously you want Malachi to come in and win every game and then compete in Oregon, but I guess I just don't expect it to happen anymore. Whereas my expectation was, hey, be good. You may not be as good as Taylor Green at his best or Kellen Moore at his best or whatever, but be good enough to win us enough games. And my thought with the offense has
what's
always
enough
been,
games though? What's enough games?
I want to say
It's got to be
all
playoff
but
or
Oregon.
bust, right? Yeah.
Right. And I think Malachi's, or I think Mad Dogs is good enough to do that.
You think so? Maybe.
Just the only reason I say that is just because if you can get it to Genty, who's going to get the ball 30 times a game. I don't know how many plays are in a game. 90. A third of the plays are going to Genty.
Should.
Okay,
Should. Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah.
Right. So if you take the other 2/3 and you say dump it to the tight end, get it to a receiver, don't turn it over, then we should win. I really believe that. We have a good offensive line. We have good weapons. The other, if you take 2/3, if you take 60 snaps, some of them are going to other running backs. Some of them are easy dink and dot throws. And then the others are, hey, you're going to have, hopefully you have a 70% passing completion rate and just don't have bad turnovers. And I think we can win a lot of games. My legit expectation this year with Dirk, and I hate to put it out there that high, but I really want to average that 37, 38 points a game.
I think that should be the expectation.
Yeah.
I mean, we were right around there last.
Bush was in the
We got up to-
mid-30s.
Bush, yeah, he was.
Yeah, up over 30. I think it was like 32, 33. That's probably an easy one to find.
Had
But
a tough year.
and we lost a lot of games.
And
but
we had that double quarterback
but-
system that I
yeah.
championed for
Love
many
it.
years.
We
Love
should
that.
score above 35 for sure. I think pushing 40 is really tough, especially if they want to be run heavy. It's, I don't know what they're going with tempo and not tempo, but
Half 100.
I think that, yeah, ultimately, I don't know. I think
That was
Malachi,
a dirty blow, Matt.
I don't think the book's written on Malachi yet, obviously.
Yeah.
I hope the best for him. I don't really care. I trust,
Yeah,
you
I
have to
think-
trust Dirk.
Yeah, he'll come out when he's ready.
Yeah.
Right? Like he'll be put in when he's ready. And if Malachi's the guy and he's doing good, why change it? Right? Like, hey, he's winning games. That's what we want to
You
do.
talking Mad Dog or
Yeah,
Malachi?
Mad Dog. So
Either
if
one.
Mad Dog's winning
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
and we're winning by touchdown, 2 touchdowns, it's like, what? Do we need to win by 3?
Yeah, you're right. I do think a lot is riding on this year for multiple things. We talked about it. We got to get into the playoff. It really is. Like, you just got to do it. Our window's really short. The schedule lines up really well this year because we have some good teams.
It's
We have
tough.
Oregon State, Washington State. We
Tough,
got Oregon.
but not too tough.
We have
Yeah.
good teams at home.
Yeah.
We have a good cast of players. And then one thing I want to throw in there is, let's say we have a really good year. And Dirk is a big part of that. And he enjoys it. And he says, I could do another offseason up in McCall and come back and use the same players plus a few more. I can do that again. Like
Not Genty, though.
No, Genty will
All
be
right,
gone.
well, Okay,
Genty will be
that's
gone.
fine. But you're going to lose a few players here and there. But if you have a good quarterback that he likes, that's a big piece of the puzzle. And then you add and you subtract and he's like, I could hang out in McCall all year, and I could be busy in the office. That's a good thing. We need Dirk. We need consistency at that coaching position, and I could see that happening. I don't know if it will. I know he's going to give up. I know he's going to retire at some point, but we need Dirk. Like, that is an asset that not all these other schools have.
Yeah, yeah. It's a huge luxury. I don't know if we need him long term. I mean, I would love to have him forever, right? But it's not going to happen forever.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if he had a great year and he's like, I can do this. Don't make me go off campus to recruit.
Yep.
I can do this. Keep grooming the guys under me that are pretty young. Of course,
Yep.
Matt Miller probably gets sick of that eventually and wants to move on. Whatever. But that's neither here nor here. I mean, we know, like, for college football now, it's a year-to-year process. You just don't know.
That's why I'm
you
saying
don't
I think
know.
it's a big deal if he can be there for more than 1 year.
Yeah, it would be. It would be great. But I just think right now they have to focus on this year. And they got Genty. He's pretty much generational, you would say, right? I mean, he's not breezy, probably great. Sire Gaines sounds like he's really good, but Genty could be the number 1, 2, or 3 running back drafted. They don't come along super frequently. You have a NFL coach as your offensive coordinator. You've got experience on the line. Like, this is setting up to be a big year. And so back to Malachi, Mad Dog, you're probably right. Put the guy in that's not going to make mistakes. I still contend that, and I think I said this to Prater, I just know how college football is. Like, teams that are decent enough and match up well enough, and maybe Genty gets hurt or dinged up and they really sell it, there's going to be 1 or 2 games that the quarterback has to throw for 350 and win a game in the fourth quarter, and Genty's out or we can't run it, and Mad Dog or Malachi has to win the game.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm not here to say, like, we don't know. I trust Dirk. He's going to put the right guy in to do that.
That's what Grant said.
Yeah.
He's like, it was just one of those games at Air Force where I couldn't hand off to Ajayi.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. And then I was off.
Yeah, he felt it in pregame. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was saying that? Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. Typically, your running back can get you back in the game. If they can get the first downs, because that's what you're supposed to do, is get more first downs. And if the running back can get those and take some pressure off, I think the Malachi storyline will be one of the top 5 storylines this season. And I think if we were going to list those, it would be Malachi, not in order.
I think it's
Genty.
Genty's, yeah.
I don't know what's number 1. I'm just listing them, right?
Yeah.
So what Malachi does, Genty, the playoffs,
Dirk.
and then I guess Spencer, how he does his first real year.
And just the defense in general. I mean, they were so bad so bad last year.
So I guess Spencer, he's the yeah.
You know, and last thought on Malachi. It's funny, all these preseason rankings and things are coming out, and Phil Steele, everyone that follows college football, Phil Steele's like the authority on all things college football. His I think his digital copies come out, but I've seen excerpts, and he lists Malachi Nelson as a starting quarterback at Boise State. And so and all these ESPN, like group of 5 big time, like.
But if you're paying attention,
I know. I'm like, how is he? So it's interesting because everyone, and like Malachi is listed as top impact transfers in college football. Malachi Nelson's on there. It's like, do they know he might not even start? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I do, the defense, I don't know how far we want to go into this, but we touched on it a little bit. We had major issues last year getting to the quarterback. I don't know if that's been solved, but the back end.
Yeah.
You know what? Off season, you'd like to think a home run, right? Like, we got 2 Pac-12 starting caliber corners, right? The Irby kid from Cal, and then Banks,
Oregon,
from Washington.
Oh, Washington, excuse me, yeah.
And that's going to help a lot. I think the defense, I know, that was Phil still has Oregon's wide receiver group as number 1 in the country.
We had that.
Perfect.
We had that
and
last
Dylan
year.
Gabriel throwing it to him, and we had to do that
We had it
against
with last
Washington.
year.
So if it's any
Is that what
if
it
it's
is?
any
Love it.
better, if it's like marginally better than what happened
has
at
to be.
Washington,
We were
it
the
can't
worst.
Be worse.
We were the worst.
Then I'll be happy.
It
not
needs to
happy.
be significantly better.
No,
to be happy.
I'm just saying against Oregon, they're going to throw the ball on us. I'm hoping it's somewhat better. We're not going to win that game. We're not going to win at Oregon. Sorry. I know we have before. They're a top 5 team.
Yeah.
So can we keep it less than 20? I would like to think so. I hope so.
I guess we'll know a lot more after the first game.
It's
Georgia Southern at
Yeah.
Georgia Southern?
Oh, well.
Maybe.
At Georgia Southern?
It's
Yeah.
at Georgia
you
Southern.
serious? Yes.
We're going to Georgia
Where you
Southern,
been,
dude.
man?
Kurt Apsey, baby.
He did that?
He did that.
Kurt Apsey
Dude,
did
he's
that.
still throwing knives at us from
I think
wherever
he's
he's
laughing
at.
a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Suckers.
He's going to be at a country club in California
That
watching
game,
the
by
game.
the
being
way-
like, I set that up.
That game is just over 2 months away.
It's coming
August
up.
31st.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
coming up.
Oregon's the second game of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're away.
September 7th.
first
Away,
2
away.
games.
And then
Away,
a bye.
away. Then we got Portland
Then
State.
the early
And then
bye.
Portland State. We don't play home till week 4.
I hate that, dude.
our
My
first
favorite
home game
games,
is week
my
4.
favorite home games are like early September games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the weather is
Beautiful.
just great.
Then we get 3 in a
I
row,
mean,
though. We do get 3 in a row.
Portland State, Washington State, those should be good weather.
And Utah
games.
State, I
Utah
think.
State, the 5th.
Yeah,
Those
3 in a
that'll be good.
row. But yeah, it's a weird schedule. 10 a.m. again on Black Friday, Oregon
Love it.
State. I went to the
Are you
10
guys
a.m.
at
one
home?
last time.
That's at home. Okay.
Are you guys going to the UNLV game possibly?
We've talked.
Oh,
Well, we
yeah,
got to
we've
figure
talked
out
about
that situation with the golf thing. And
We need
Right.
sponsors. Is that what you're saying?
no, I meant we're going to Las Vegas for
Yeah.
another thing,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks before or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got to figure that out.
Well, the games I want to go to, I'm going to go to the Notre Dame game.
In
Next
2 years.
year.
Yes.
Next year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we'll know a lot. That I don't know how good Georgia Southern is, but if we struggle mightily in the pass game, we're gonna have it. But the thing that I always thought about the pass that we were having issues with last year, it made no sense to me, was deep balls is more of a strategy mindset where you just say, look, we'll let them get 12, 15 yard, 10 yard throws, but you can't let them run behind you. And it happened game after game after game. Every time the quarterback threw it deep and they panned the camera over, we had two guys chasing them.
It was from me to you. It was from me to you.
Every
as
time.
close- it was bad.
And it was something that's something that I'm not a great coach, but that's something that I knew I could fix.
And then all the DBs would come back to the huddle like, we didn't know they could throw it. Like, we didn't know they could
But it was
throw
just
far.
so odd because I get at Washington, you don't know what you're going up
It
against.
was week
Maybe you don't know
one.
the speed.
Should've
You just
known.
don't know the scheme, and it just gets out of hand. But then the next game and the next game and the next game, we're letting 2 or even 3 balls go deep. Yeah. I never understood that, man. I never understood that. And so, yeah, you have to fix
Safeties
that.
coach is gone. We have a new safeties
Is that
coach.
Ione or whatever?
Yeah, he's down at Nevada, DC down there. I don't know
an
if it was his
interesting
fault.
storyline.
I don't know if it was personnel, coaching, or scheme. It was a problem, though. We were 110th out of 130. It was bad.
why
it was
was
bad.
it?
And we played Air Force in there. So, you know what I mean? So, like, there's an extra game that should have helped our
Yeah.
stats, basically.
You know, that's another. There's 2 more storylines I missed. Taylor Green,
That's a storyline.
That's a storyline
I'm
I
really
missed.
interested in that.
and then Nevada coach
Yeah.
Choate.
Choate. That's another
That is a
storyline.
st-
That could be interesting.
Yeah, because it sounds like, in talking to some of the guys we've talked to, he wanted this job twice now.
Yeah.
He's wanted the job twice, and he's been turned down twice. So you know that his game here, Nevada comes here. I think they're undermanned. They're not good skill-wise. It's gonna be a rebuild there.
Yeah.
But he really wants
If he
this
takes
game.
that program somewhere that they haven't been in a long time,
He'll take him to respectability. I think he's that. I think
Yeah.
he's. Can he take him past 7-5, 6-6? Who knows? It's Nevada. They haven't been there for a long time, but they have. I mean, they've been a top 25 team, right? The Kaepernick years, they needed someone special, and they had a lot of NFL talent, but it's been a while.
Is Eric McAllister on your storylines list?
no. Maybe we can throw Avalos McAllister on there.
See them
twofer?
like chest bumping. Oh man.
Not really. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I think
That's
it's
7
I
storylines.
actually so certainly down the list.
Yeah.
As far as McAllister, I'm interested on McAllister because I think it's a little bit of if he goes to TCU and just gets lost in the shuffle, I think that is just one of those things that you say, dude,
You shouldn't have quit.
you shouldn't have left Boise State.
Yeah.
He was, because I feel this pretty strongly that when he was here, he was our number one guy. And look at the list. We've had Khalil, we've had Titus, Pettis. We've had several in the last 10 years. We've
Come
had
on, you're
several.
missing 2 others. Cedric.
Cedric Wilson,
Yeah.
and anyways, several wide receivers play in the NFL, get drafted. And he was on that trajectory, no doubt. He has the size, he had the speed, he had the, everything. And if he goes and he does great and he gets drafted, then okay. But if he doesn't, I think that is a sign, if I'm a Boise State coach, that's example
Don't
A
leave.
of this is what we can do. If you stay here, we can develop you. Look what Ashton Genty did. He became a 3rd-round pick or whatever. Look what Eric McAllister did. He went to TCU. Not that I'm not rooting for him to lose, but I'm interested to see how he does. Because and I wouldn't be shocked. Because, we listen to the interviews and know his upbringing a little bit. He's got a little bit of a checkered past, right? Tough upbringing. You go to a place that maybe it is. Maybe it's
from
better
Texas.
support for him. He
He's
is
from
from there.
Texas.
Maybe it's better. Maybe it's worse for him. Maybe he's, back with some of the guys he
Well,
used to
the
hang out
boogeyman
with.
followed
and
him
whatever.
over.
You don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just interested. I am actually. That's a top 10 storyline for me. It just
Yeah,
to,
top 10. Didn't
just
make
to
the
follow.
top 5.
Nah.
Well,
Yeah.
Khalil, speaking of Shakir,
He's going to be the number one guy.
yeah, at Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah.
How wild is
fun.
that? That's insane.
Dude,
to
he's
me,
great,
dude.
though. His
He's
hands
incredible.
are great. Every time he threw him the ball, he catches the ball. Yeah.
That's great. Well, good for him.
Anyways.
Did you guys see anything else? Tabasco had another thing about Sire Gaines. I know nothing about Sire Gaines.
He's the running back that really impressed. Sounds like he's going to be the number 3. Him and Breezy will be battling for 2 or 3 running backs. So he'll get some time. Sounds like he looks the part and is pretty mature. So, yeah.
You know, speak to your point, I thought about this when you're talking about it. When EMAC left, because we just got a wide receiver transfer in. I mean, they were looking to fill that plug.
Yeah.
And there would have been no plug to fill if he would have stayed in, obviously.
That's a good point. Yeah. Subscribers?
I was going to say, since we last talked, I guess, Prater was on, but we went to the BNN event. Mark,
was that
you and
since
I.
last time?
Yeah, well, it's been a couple episodes ago, I think.
We did. Yeah.
There was a dinner thing before the golf tournament. We got to interact with some listeners there.
We did.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Love
coaches.
that.
We got a couple lined up
Yeah.
to come on as we go along. And past coaches, too.
Past coaches.
So we do have some other guests coming
Some people
up.
on the basketball side made some connections there. So
Yep.
awesome
Yes,
stuff.
sir. So please subscribe on YouTube, right? And then
Subscribe on YouTube.
What's the competition again?
Yeah, if you want a shirt, you can show off to all your friends. You will be team shirts because you'll have the shirt.
So far, I guess I'm only the only one left on
You'll
team
be on
shirt.
Brandon's team. You're on Brandon's team.
It's a good team to be on.
So
once we post
retweet?
this episode, you're going to repost it.
repost.
Yeah, retweet.
And then retweet, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Repost it.
Re-X.
Re-exit. And then get some likes on it. Get the word out there for the Shirts and Skins podcast.
Cool.
All right.
Couple weeks.
We'll mail it
right?
out.
Thanks,
Dude, you're
everyone.
going to love the shirt.
Peace.